Hello everybody. In the previous lesson, we talked about passive voice in general and in 3 tenses. Now we're going to talk about passive voice again, but in present continuous and present perfect tenses. Before we do that, let's remember why we use the passive voice to begin with. We use a passive voice when we don't know the subject, the doer of the action, or the object, the thing or the person affected by the action is more important than the subject, or we use the passive voice when the subject is so obvious that we don't need to put it in the sentence. And there were some steps, right? So step 1, we find the object. Step 2, we put it in the beginning of the sentence where in an active sentence a subject is. And step 3, we put the correct form of be and the past participle of the verb. Past participle of the verb means the third form of the verb. And what about models? We use model, be, and verb 3. Let's see some examples of models and passive structure. Should be done. Model, should, be, verb 3, done. Must be sent, can be completed, have to be said, would be asked, could be accomplished. These are just some examples of models and some passive voice when we use models. So, to see overall, we talked about present simple, past simple, and future simple in the previous lesson. And then we talked about models. Now we'll talk about present perfect and present continuous tenses in passive. The rule is the same, the steps are the same, everything is the same. We find the object, we put it in the beginning of the sentence, and we add the correct form of be with past participle of the verb. Past participle, the third form of the verb. Now, the managers of the cinema have closed it because of the fire. This is an active sentence, and this sentence is present perfect. It's an example from a present perfect tense sentence. Now, the managers of the cinema, subject, action, close. Now we're going to find the object. Who closes it? The managers. What or who is affected? It. What is it? The cinema. Now, the rule is the same. We find the object. We found it. It. We put it in the beginning of the sentence. It, well, because we're putting it in the beginning and people might not have any idea what's going on, it's a good idea to say the cinema. We add the correct form of be. Wait. What's the tense? Present perfect. What is be in present perfect? Have been or has been. The cinema has been, past participle, verb 3, close, closed, closed. So this is a regular verb. The cinema has been closed because of the fire. And this is the passive voice of the sentence. Now, we don't need to say by the managers or by the managers of the cinema. What's important is that the cinema is now not open. Now, there are 3 sentences, all of them active, and all of them are in the present perfect tense. Pause the video, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes, turn these active sentences or active present perfect sentences into passive present perfect sentences. Let's see. Aid workers have helped the injured people. The injured people have been helped by the aid workers. Aid means help. People haven't chosen the new president yet. The new president hasn't been chosen yet. Now, in the first sentence we say by the aid workers, but in the second sentence we don't say by people. Why? Well, the first sentence The injured people can be helped by anyone. Maybe some passerbys, maybe some, I don't know, police officers. So anyone can help, and anyone could have helped them. But in the second sentence, the new president hasn't been chosen yet. Who chooses presidents? People. There is no other way. So then we say the new president hasn't been chosen yet. Without by people. They have given him a job in California. Now, as we said before, give is a different action than the others, because give can take two objects, a person and a thing at the same time. And this is what happened here. Object one is him. So in the subject place, we say he, not him. They have given him a job in California. He has been given a job in California. A job has been given to him in California. As we said, a person and a thing. If the thing is in the beginning, for give, if the thing is in the beginning, we put to someone. Let me repeat. If the thing, as we said, okay, give has two objects. Give can take two objects. Object one, a person. Object two, a thing. Now, person, object. Like thing. Let's say thing. But thing, person, then we have to put to in the middle. About present continuous. We're going to do some more exercises, but before we do that, let's see. Now, let's remember. We said İpek abla cleans the classrooms every day. So she cleans the classrooms every day. The classrooms are cleaned every day because verb 3. Cleaned, be verb 3, are cleaned. Object, be verb 3, the classrooms are cleaned. She's cleaning the classrooms now. The classrooms, object, are, be, cleaned verb 3 every day. Wait. This passive sentence is exactly the same with this one. But this active sentence and this active sentence are different. This one is present simple, a routine, also it says every day, but this one, she's cleaning the classrooms now, is right now, so it's present continuous. Therefore, this sentence is not correct. We have to put ing in the passive sentence as well. But where? Where do we put the ing? Do we say the ing classrooms? No. Do we say the classrooms ing? No. Do we say the classrooms are ing? No. The classrooms are cleaning? That would be an active sentence. Remember, in passive sentences, there should be a verb 3, always. So then that's not also correct. That's also not correct. And the classrooms are cleaned every day-ing? No. Then we need to add something new, only for the ing. Being. The classrooms are being cleaned now. Again, give yourself 5 to 10 minutes and turn these present continuous active sentences into present continuous passive sentences. Remember, show, right here, the first one, show is also an action that's very similar to give, which means it can take two objects at the same time. One person, two thing. Okay, let's see the answers now. I'm showing you the presentation. The presentation is being shown to you. You are being shown the presentation. Same thing. If the thing is in the beginning and the person is at the end, then we put to in the middle. Now, I don't really like this sentence, you're being shown the presentation. It will probably work better in different examples, but grammatically that's correct. But like in meaning, we wouldn't say you're being shown the presentation. But we would say, if we need to make it passive, we would say the presentation is being shown to you. That's better than the second one. Number 2, the gardener is watering the flowers. The flowers are being watered. And number 3, the students are answering the questions. The questions are being answered. You see, none of them, right here, number 1, number 2, number 3, I'm talking about passives, of course, they don't have by someone here. Not because of the tense, but because it doesn't make any sense to add it. The flowers are being watered by the gardener. That's a normal thing, because most of the time, if someone is watering the flowers, it's the gardener. Of course, anyone can answer questions, but mostly when we say this, it's the students. And if I am showing you the presentation, I know that you're being shown the presentation, or I know that the presentation is being shown to you. I don't have to say by me. Now, there are 10 sentences with many different tenses. Give yourself minimum. Give yourself at least 15 minutes. Pause the video here. Give yourself 15 minutes. Turn these active sentences into passive voice. Do not change their tenses. Some of them are some of them are present simple, some of them are past simple, some of them are future simple, some of them are present continuous or present perfect, and there are even some with modals. Do not change a thing, just turn the active sentences into passive voice. Start your timer, you have 15 minutes minimum. Okay, I'm assuming you have answered the questions. Let's check together. A speeding truck hit my car. My car was hit by a speeding truck because this is simple past and this also is simple past. The train wreck has killed more than 200 people. More than 200 people have been killed in the train wreck. Now, if we say by here, that wouldn't make any sense because the train wreck didn't really kill the people. They died because of the train wreck. So because of the accident. That's why if we say by the train wreck, that might sound a little like, I don't know how to explain that. It's like you are talking about the train wreck in a person voice, like in, as if the train wreck came alive and killed all the people there. But no, it just happened. It's an accident. So that's why we say more than 200 people have been killed in the train wreck instead of saying by the train wreck. The band will record their first CD next year. The band's first CD will be recorded next year. Well, some of you might have said their first CD, but it doesn't make any sense to begin with their first CD because whose first CD? Do we know? Yes, we do. The band. The band's first CD. And we didn't say by the band because whose first CD is this? The band's. And obviously, the person who will record it will be the band. The dentist must check your teeth regularly. Your teeth must be checked regularly. Again, we didn't say by the dentist because who checks teeth? Dentist. The travel agency is making their reservations. Their reservations are being made by the travel agency. Now, here, because we don't know whose reservations, we didn't change anything. We said their reservations. And we added by the travel agency, but we don't have to. We can simply say their reservations are being made. It depends on what we are trying to say. It depends on which part is more important. If somebody's asking me who is making their reservations, then I can say their reservations are being made by the travel agency. But if somebody asks me, are the reservations being made? Then I can say their reservations are being made, so don't worry. Someone washed all the windows last weekend. All the windows were washed last weekend. We do not have to say by someone. Because who washes windows? People, someone. So 7. The plumber had better fix my plumbing soon. My plumbing had better be fixed soon. Had better is also a modal, just like must in number 4. That's why we didn't change a thing. We just said modal be verb 3. Had better be fixed. The artist has completed this work of art in 2 years. This work of art has been completed in 2 years. And we don't have to say by the artist because it's the work of art. Number 9. We'll give you the relevant information as soon as possible. The relevant information will be given to you as soon as possible, or you'll be given the relevant information as soon as possible, or ASAP. I wrote ASAP because I didn't have enough space to add as soon as possible there. And the last one, number 10, the hairdresser is cutting my hair now. My hair is being cut now. Because this is right now. Now, there are 20 sentences. Some of them are active, some of them are passive. They have different tenses. So, give yourself minimum 20 minutes. 1 minute for each question. And come back to the video. Continue watching it because I'll be giving the answers. Welcome back. Now let's see. Ms. Jones is employed or was employed at the hospital around our building. It depends on the context it's in. If I'm talking about Ms. Jones right now, and if she's still working there, then I can simply say Ms. Jones is employed at the hospital around our building. But if I'm talking about Miss Jones, like behind her back, if she's passed away, then I can say Miss Jones was employed at the hospital around our building. We can also say Miss Jones has been employed at the hospital around our building. I still can't believe it. My bike was stolen last night. I give my dog medicine 3 times a day. This report must be done by the end of the week. The child's arm was swollen because he was stung by a bee. Today, many serious childhood diseases can be prevented by early immunization. Many U.S. automobiles are manufactured in Detroit, Michigan. Now, it depends on the context again. If they are not manufactured in Detroit anymore, then we can simply say were manufactured. Kevin said he should leave early so he can catch the train. Can't we do something about the problem? Something is being done right now, says the other person. The rescuers were praised or have been praised for their bravery in locating the lost mountain climbers. My Uncle Philip can be counted on for help. Count on means trust. Vitamin C is easily absorbed by the human body. It gets into the bloodstream quickly. This woman found or has found a rare book in an antique store. When can I have my car back? I think it'll be finished this afternoon. I didn't think my interview went very well, but I guess it did. Despite all my anxiety, I was hired for the job I wanted, or I am hired for the job I wanted. The movie ended before 9, or the movie ends before 9. Now, if we're talking about the schedule of the movie at the cinema, then we say the movie ends before 9. But if we're talking about what happened, then we say the movie ended. The smoke from the forest fire can be seen from miles away. Let's go ahead and do it now. Nothing is done by waiting. Mr. M is the funniest man I know, or was the funniest man I know. If Mr. M is no longer alive, then we can say Mr. M was. But if he's still, around, then we say is. An accident happened, or an accident has happened on the corner of our street. The end. If you have any questions, just take a photo of the question and maybe underline it or circle it, and you can send it to me on WhatsApp. Bye-bye.